with KP. I am Kelly Parker, and I have a very special guest for you guys today. I'm going to let him introduce himself.
Hey guys, my name is Tim Mercer, aka the Bootstrap Millionaire, and KP. It's a pleasure, man, to be on the podcast. Coffee with KP?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Coffee or tea or water, whatever you
Tequila.
Tequila.
Right.
All right, guys. So I wanted to have Mr. Mercer on the episode today.
Tim, the Tim.
I'll just call you Tim. Okay. I'm gonna have Tim on the episode today to let him know, to let you guys know what he has going on and how to get in touch with him. If you don't mind, before we get started, can you tell them your social media so they can follow you and see what you currently got going on?
Yeah, so my personal page is Tim T. Mercer. That's both on IG and Facebook. We also have the Bootstrap.Millionaire theme page. So I encourage you guys to go and subscribe to that theme page because we post a lot of inspirational videos on that page. We're dealing with entrepreneur and finance.
All right. Well, I'm glad to have you again. Mm-hmm. So, with the Bootstrap Millionaire that you keep mentioning,
yes,
what is that and what does it mean?
So, actually, the Bootstrap Millionaire comes from a book that I wrote back in 2020.
Okay.
So I wrote that book. It was just really, it's a book to just kind of explain my life story, how I grew up in South Carolina and was able to get into business and kind of excel from business. And the book is great because it got a lot of, I like to call it tactical parts of business, talking about finance and things of that nature. So that's really where the mantra, so to speak, of Bootstrap Millionaire came from, the book that I wrote back in 2020.
Gotcha. I love that title. The first time I met you when we came to your office and I seen the books, you can go buy them on Amazon. I seen the books and I was like, that is a hell of a title.
Yeah.
Because so many people say, pull yourself up by your bootstraps, meaning that you're getting it out the mud and you have to go get it yourself. But to be a bootstrap millionaire, you're pretty much telling people you did this way.
Yeah. And funny because the original title was supposed to be Bootstrap Entrepreneur. And it's the writers, I wrote the book up under the Forbes Publishing. They the one that actually, for some reason, as we were in our meetings, they kept using the term millionaire. And I asked them, why y'all keep calling it Bootstrap Millionaire? I'm like, it's Bootstrap Entrepreneur. Right. And then, they kind of suggested that we change the title. I really personally didn't want to at first because, a lot of people, when you start throwing out millionaire, and first of all, I didn't want to tell people, they didn't want people in my business. Right. But more importantly, people have this perception around that word. And but then when they kind of convinced me to go with it, and I agree with that. I hope that it's more of an inspiration for people to see that if a country boy from South Carolina can grow up out of the mud and do some things, and maybe other people can do the same.
Yeah, I think that title pretty much fits it perfectly because it goes from this to this. Now, bootstrap entrepreneur doesn't necessarily mean you're successful.
And that's a good point.
Led to success.
That's a good point. Yeah.
So I really think that was a good call on that. Not to take any credit from you. I mean, you still wrote the book.
Right. No, that's good. That's
all
good.
Right. So here in Atlanta, I know you have a couple different companies that you work with. Yeah. What is your primary company that you're working with? Yeah. And how are you utilizing those? How could we utilize those services?
Right. So the business that I have owned for the past, 12 to 15 years now is iBox Global. Now, that company we're a government contractor, right? And we do a lot of work with the federal government, providing IT support to the government. But the business I'm more passionate about, obviously, is our private equity firm. It's called Cadence Ventures, and you can follow us on IG at Cadence. Cadence.
Okay. That's your camera.
Okay, got it. Okay. They can follow us on IG at Cadence.Ventures. But that business is a private equity business. We do private hard money loans for real estate investors. I mean, we've actually helped some of your students with financing. And we also finance small multifamily properties, right? Anywhere between 5 to 10 units, right? Okay. And one of the great things that we're trying to do now is really to educate people on the value of owning multifamily, right? Small commercial. And because most time when people hear commercial, they thinking, big buildings like this, right? The big, large buildings. But if you drive down Main Street of America, there's so many small commercial properties that average people like us can own. 5 to 10 unit apartment buildings, maybe a small shopping plaza. Something that you probably look at and be like, man, I wouldn't want to, it looks ugly, right? But I like ugly businesses, right?
Right.
And so our goal is to really start educating people on more of that, and then showing people how to get into those deals, and obviously helping them finance it.
So you pretty much just said you're in the line of business or of business beautification.
Yes.
Meaning that you prefer something that needs some work so you can really express the importance of ownership.
Yes.
By showing people that you could take this and turn it to this. So it's really, you flip businesses.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. That's right. Yeah.
That's a great way to look at it, because we're all in a space right now that we're not where we want to be.
Yeah.
But we're headed in the right direction every day that we progress.
Yes.
And every day is about progressing, regardless of what line of work you're in. He's in finance and governmental contracts. Mm-hmm. And I know he dabbles in some real estate, whether it's commercial or residential. Yep. For you guys out there watching, just take that step forward right now. And reach out to guys like Tim. Myself, you really can't get in touch with me. I don't know why I said that, but reach out to guys like me, just on some mentor type thing.
Yeah.
Because, we got our membership, we got our boot camps, we got our workshops, we got our school, we got all this stuff. So my time is very limited. But find some guys that's really out here trying to educate you all, and not only educate you to help you get to where they're at, but to also point you in the direction that you may want to go, that you don't know you want to go there yet.
Yeah.
Because we only know what we know.
That's true.
We only know about, if we're raised in the hood and that's all we know, that's all we know.
That's all we know. Yeah.
But someone who has made it out, they can point you in the direction that you may want to go to, because it's something totally different than what we're currently faced with.
And I personally think that that's our responsibility to do that, right?
Oh, most definitely.
To reach back and show people, what you did, right? I mean, to me, I think game, even though a lot of people, obviously through coaching and stuff, charge for it, and that's fine, right? But I think that the sentiment of education, to some degree, needs to be knowing that I'm helping someone, climb up, right, and pull themselves up to take it to the next level.
Most definitely, and that's beautiful that you already understand that, and some people out here watching may not understand the importance of educating others. I know us as young black guys were game up with the game is to be sold, not told. Yeah. To a certain extent. You really want to share as much game as you can, but of course you may have to charge for your time.
Yes.
When it comes to giving this game one-on-one, you got to charge for your time. When it comes to coaching and teaching groups and classes, you got to charge for your time. But to help somebody, just point them in the right direction, you can do that free, and that's what Gina and I have been doing for years, is giving this game out freely to educate people like yourself who tune into this channel or our social media platforms, just to educate you all, because we learn the hard way.
Yes.
You learn the hard way.
Yeah.
We don't want to make it harder for the people behind us.
Yeah, exactly.
We want to make it easier, and that goes into where real estate, that transfers into real estate, multiple aspects of real estate. If we keep the game is to be sold mentality, we're always going to be way in the back, because we don't share the information.
Yeah.
We need to share this information as much as possible, as often as we can, because all our grandparents and stuff, they probably own properties.
Yes. Yeah.
They probably, passed away and had multiple kids who didn't understand the importance of ownership, because they never had these talks. They never expressed to them that, this house is valuable and it's going to be more valuable as life goes on. So keep the property. But as soon as someone passes away or leaves some property to their kids, they may get into it or just may see the green dollar sign and quickly sell it to a wholesaler, a hedge fund, or an investor.
You see that a lot now, though, right? Where they're just selling off these homes, and I agree with you, through that and tax liens.
Yeah.
How people now can just go in and get the house through tax liens and whatnot.
Right, because they understand the importance of ownership.
Yeah.
We don't. That's why we got to continue getting this education out, this game out, because ultimately, we cry about gentrification, but it starts with us.
It starts with us.
It starts with us, man.
It couldn't happen. Gentrification couldn't even happen if we didn't participate in it.
Right.
You right?
By us educating, Tim educating, us educating, you guys getting this information and sharing it, you're the ones that's going to be able to combat this gentrification.
Yeah.
There's no need for us to buy back the block when we should have never sold the block in the first place. So
That's a good point.
we teach people how to build a block, but keep it.
That's a
Sell a
very
couple.
good point.
I always tell people if you have to sell some property because, times are hard, just keep in mind of going back to get some more property.
So let me ask you, okay, people, what made, because you and Gene, like when we first met, you guys were just giving out. Because I remember the first time I met you, I was like, man, y'all giving out a lot of game for, like you said, free, we're just educating people. Mm-hmm. But what inspired you guys to really get to fall in love, so to speak, with real estate?
For me, it was when I first moved up here. Mm-hmm. I hit Gene up on Facebook. This is a quick story. I hit Gene up on Facebook, and I asked him, because I was an agent down in Florida, I asked him, can I join his team? Mm-hmm. And he said, yeah. So I moved up here, and I started seeing the passion behind him.
Yeah.
He understood his why. And his wife, his kids,
Yeah.
he understood all that. So me seeing the passion that real estate is supplying enough money and time for this guy to spend it the way he wants to, that's what made me want to be more deeply involved with real estate investing.
Yeah.
It's one thing to represent a buyer or seller as an agent, but once you start investing and understanding, like, listen, I can buy some of my time back because I'm making money without working because I've invested in real estate. So understanding that and looking at, like you say, your book is published with Forbes. I was looking at the Forbes list, realized that like 96% of the people on that list have some form of real estate.
Absolutely.
Like they own multiple things in real estate. So I understand that real estate is where wealth is built, wealth is created. So I was like, I like to be rich, but I'd rather be wealthy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Andre 3000 said, wealth is riches around the corner from the curb. Because you're a millionaire, you spend $100,000.
That's a good point. Yeah.
You're not a millionaire no more.
No.
But you still gonna be paying them taxes like that, and that's gonna eat up that bread some more.
I remember, man. I heard Grant Cardone had said something once. He said that if you make $1 million, he said that making $1 million or having $1 million gives you more anxiety than you can ever imagine, right? And when I first heard it, I didn't believe it until once you get there and you realize, okay, $1 million really is not a lot of money.
Right.
Right. And I don't say that in no disrespect to people who, probably have not made it, because some people probably think, well, that's easy for you to say, right?
Right.
But it really isn't, right? Because if you think about it, if you've been making $100,000 over the past 10 years, well, you actually touched $1 million.
Right.
Right. But to your point is, you start seeing what happens. That $1 million can get eroded very quickly based on the things that you start doing. So it doesn't give you financial stability. Even if you have $1 million in your bank, you still don't have financial stability.
I'm telling you, man, anxiety is like the reason I don't carry $100 bills.
Right.
As soon as you break it, it's gone.
Exactly. Right.
And that's how I guess you could say that $1 million is. As soon as you break a $100 bill, a $20 bill will last more than a $100 bill.
Exactly right. That's right.
Because you break that 100, you don't borrow something for 60, and then plus tax, you down to $30.
Yes.
It's like, damn, where did 100 went?
Yeah.
So, especially going out to eat. Nowadays,
just look at what inflation is doing right now. Think about how inflation is cutting into things. What's happening with home values now.
Right.
Right. Back in the day, you could buy a mansion for $400,000.
Right.
You can't pretty much buy nothing for $300,000 now. Right.
Not for that, not here.
Not
maybe out in the country.
Yeah.
But in Greater Atlanta, 300, them days over with.
Yeah.
Them days are over, and it's only up to us to make more money. We have to adapt with it.
And that's what I
complain about these prices.
Yeah.
You got to figure out how to make some more money.
Because what do you think? So some people feel that the new 500,000 is $1 million now. Meaning, which I kind of agree, right? If you own a really nice house in Atlanta now, especially within 285, what am I looking at? About 700 to $1 million?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Even on down to Southwest Atlanta, they got $500,000, $800,000 houses.
Yeah.
When it used to be capped out maybe 10 years ago at 250.
Exactly. Right.
These values are going to increase, so it's up to you to increase your value.
Yes.
Because the value of everything around you is going to get increased.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's on us.
Wow.
I love having these talks, especially with guys like Tim and, of course, you guys who comment where you are right now financially. But this is what we're here for. We're here to educate you all. Do you have anything coming up, like any courses or anything that people can sign up or follow?
I'm not really. Often people would ask me about that. For some reason, I just never, got into the course game. Right. If anything, what I'm hoping to do is maybe create like a mastermind where I can bring people to some type of mastermind that we can kind of talk through things. Right. I'm more of a collaborative type person. Even when I do talks, I tell people I'm more of a dialogue person than a monologue, right? I just don't want to stand in front of people and talk.
Just like me. I need an interaction. I need the questions. I need to feel like this is a conversation. I'm not the one speaking.
Absolutely. If you're not going to get much out of me if you don't ask me questions and engage me, right? Because I just, my brain doesn't think like that.
And Gene and I are the same way, because even on our Tuesday night calls, when we're coaching and teaching to our students, if they don't have any questions, we don't have any answers.
Exactly.
Like it has to be in you. You have to want to know this, because I'm a dictionary, but if you don't ever open me up, you ain't gonna learn nothing.
That's a good point.
So you better take advantage of it, and I do that with quite a few people, especially yourself, where we can have this open dialogue, this monologue stuff. I'm not the one. I used to be a teacher, but if you're not interactive, then it's hard for me to really help you, because I don't know what you need help with.
What you need help with, yeah. And when you talk about subjects like finance and investing, those are very complex subjects, right? I mean, and I look at it as like what we're doing right now. This is more like kitchen table talk, right? I wish when I was growing up, my family, we would have sat down at the kitchen table and kind of talked about money, talked about the impact that it would have on our lives and things of that nature. That's the type of conversations I like to have within a mastermind group and things of that nature.
All right, so what would you tell, what are two things you would tell your younger self about where you are right now?
In terms of from a business perspective?
Yes.
Oh man, well, I would probably tell my younger self the two things that I would probably want to focus on. If I had to do it all over again, I would definitely tell myself to focus on learning how to sell, right? Well, selling is something that I've just never, I don't think I was ever good at it. It was just hard for me to do, right? And what I've come to realize though is that in business, especially in business and life in general, if you can't sell, you're gonna have a hard time in life, right? Because no money changes hands unless something is sold, right? So I think selling is one skill set that I would encourage myself to learn, as well as being more of a people person, right? I'm really more of an introvert, and sometimes it's hard for me to get outside of that shell to really engage other people. I like really just being by myself, right? But you can't survive in this world by yourself. So those are two things I would probably encourage my younger self to do.
That's amazing. So all you guys watching, if you're an introvert, get out there with the world, network, meet new people, and tell the people that, like you say, want to be in this business space, you do have to be a salesman in some form or factor. Me personally, I hate, just like him, feeling like I'm selling something. So I'd rather have a conversation and offer a service rather than try to sell you something. So with that being said, guys, I thank you for tuning in. This has been another episode of Coffee with KP with my very special guest, Mr. Tim Mercer. Thank you very much.
Thank you, brother.
You guys can rewind the video for his contact information. Please like, subscribe, and comment, and I'll see you guys on the next video.
All right.
Thank you for tuning in. If you liked today's episode, please share it with a friend or two, and please comment. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel.